Hi everyone, welcome back to Sashay Away with Barry, or should I say, Pip Pip and Cheerio. I do not do British accents, and I'm kind of tired of hearing all the fake ones that have been happening on podcasts, and from RuPaul and Michelle. They are driving me crazy, so I will not be doing one, nor will I be attempting one. But I am back here with Drag Race UK. And we're going to talk a lot about it. But first, we're going to catch up because I haven't been on here in months. I took a little break, took a little drag break as well, but it didn't stop me from seeing drag. I went to DragCon here in New York City. It was not the greatest thing in the world this time, but it was fun. I always have a good time. I love to see the panels. I got to see the queens from the UK there. I got to see the queens from Drag Race Thailand Season 2. There were 4 of them there, and they were amazing. They performed, and then I also saw them in a panel, which was an international panel. It was them and a queen from Brazil, whose name I cannot remember at this moment, and Art Simone from Australia. It was a lovely, lovely panel about international drag. And then I met some queens. It was really fun. I had a good time. It was a lot smaller than it normally is, but it was good. It's fine. We'll see if I go next year. I've already been talks with friends saying that maybe we'll go to DragCon LA next year instead of New York. I've done both, and to me, LA is a little bit better. It's bigger. There are more queens there, and it's a lot more fun, I think. But I was there. I also went to Bushwig that same weekend. For some reason, they decided to have them on the same weekend. This is a huge mistake, because if it happens again, I will definitely be going to Bushwig and not DragCon. Bushwig is, for those of you who don't know, it is kind of an alternative drag festival. It is out in Brooklyn / Queens, because it really is right on the border. It used to be in Bushwick, which is what got its name, Bushwig. It is literally just hours and hours of performances, where DragCon is just people standing around or the market selling things. Bushwig is actual performances. Everyone does 1, sometimes 2 numbers. They do get some Drag Race queens there. There were also queens. Nina West was there. Gia Gunn, whom you will never hear me say this again, but she was amazing on the stage. I've never seen her perform before, but it was really, really something special to see. I have some videos of it that I haven't put up yet. I'm still kind of going through them. There's a lot of nudity this year, so I have to kind of be careful about what I post, so that I don't get kicked off the YouTube for inappropriate content. But they will be coming shortly. Who else was there? Soju performed as well. Crystal from Drag Race UK performed. There were also 2 queens from Dragula, which I am also watching. Miss Madeline Hatter and Violencia performed. Violencia is one that got naked, so you will not be seeing her for sure. But it was really, really great. It's a drag festival. It is literally performance after performance after performance after performance. It's a lot of local queens here, but there are international queens as well that come. Last year we had the amazing queen, Is She Hungry? Her name's Hungry. I don't know why I said Is She Hungry? That's because that is her Instagram handle. Hungry from Germany. And she was fantastic. So lots of good things at Bushwig. I highly recommend it. They did do one in LA, I believe, around DragCon this year. It goes to Berlin every year. So they are kind of taken off as well. They might be going to Austin as well, some of them, for the International Drag Festival. Who knows? Check them out, Bushwig. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram. Their website is bushwig.com. Go check it out. It was really, really a great, great event. Speaking of Drag Race Thailand, if you are watching the UK Queens on the World of Wonder app, which you should be because you get it early, you should also be watching Drag Race Thailand. Season 1 is there. Season 2 is coming out weekly, kind of like Drag Race UK. They are up to, I think, episode 7 already. I've watched it already because I watched it without subtitles, but now I can watch it with subtitles, so I actually know what's happening. The good thing about Drag Race Thailand is that they do, most of them speak English, so you do get you do kind of understand what's happening even if you don't have the subtitles, but watching it with subtitles is a lot easier. But these queens are amazing. They kind of put the US queens to shame. And now that we've kind of seen Drag Race UK, we know that Drag Race around the world is very different. In Thailand, I learned that it is more about impersonating celebrities. And that's what they do for a living. They impersonate them. But seeing on Drag Race Thailand, they did have to do their own individual things. They didn't impersonate people on the show. But the winner of Drag Race Thailand Season 2, I will post it eventually. I tried to post it, but I kept getting it kept bouncing back to me as well, because one of the songs is not eligible to be played in the US. There are so many weird restrictions on YouTube, and I can't figure out which song it is. I took out the one I thought it was. It still wouldn't post, saying it's not allowed. So I think it's another one, but I haven't taken it out yet. So I'm just gonna kind of post them individually, I think, and see which ones go through. But the winner of Thailand Season 2 did literally a 12-minute mega mix of Beyonce songs, and apparently she is the premier Beyonce impersonator of Thailand. So go figure. But she was amazing. I love all the queens. I am so excited for Drag Race Thailand. Go back and watch Season 1. It's amazing as well. The first challenge, they have to do costumes that transform 3 different times. And then Season 2, I am loving because they got a bigger budget, as they always do. And the queens are really spectacular. You also get 2 trans queens on the show, which are fantastic. They turn out to be my favorite queens so far. And that is that. So watch Drag Race Thailand. If you do not have the app and want to get it, the first month is free. So if you sign up, it's free. Then it is $3.99 a month, I think. And if you're only going to use it for Drag Race UK, you're probably only going to need it for 2 months, maybe 3. Because it's a short season. Or if you don't really care about it, they are showing it on Logo the following week, so you can watch it there. I'm sure there are ways to watch it online. I have not done any of the research because I don't watch things illegally like that. I try to be as honest as I can be, and I have the World of Wonder app. I pay for it. I pay $40 for the whole year, and it's done. They do have other content on there, and it's not great. But you do get other stuff. You get all the World of Wonder shows. You get, the fashion photo review. Get it early before it comes out on YouTube. It is also uncensored, so you get all of that good stuff of them swearing on it. But that's that. I'm also watching Dragula Season 3 on Amazon Prime. If you're in Canada, you can watch it on Out TV. But it is, again, they have stepped up their budget. The Boulet brothers are doing amazing things. They are stepping outside the box as well. They have their first drag king on there, Mr. Landon Sider, and I think he is the front runner right now. If you had asked me at the beginning of it, I would have said Eva Destruction is the winner already. They don't even need to do the show. But Landon Sider has won me over. I am a stan of his, and I really, really hope that he wins. They also had their first AFAB queen, and those of you who don't know what that is assigned female at birth. So it is a biological woman. She is now post-binary. I mean, she is a weirdo. Don't get me wrong, but it's exciting to see that she's on there. I'm sorry. Messing up my pronouns. It's exciting that they are on there. She is a they. I said it again. I just need to say her name. They are an interesting queen to watch. I recommend it. So go watch Dragula on Amazon Prime. It's a great show. I don't know if they're actually they used to show it on YouTube. I don't know if it still is. I'm assuming they're still probably there because it's just them uploading their content. But Amazon Prime, uninterrupted, exciting television. It can get a little gross. There's stuff that I don't watch on there because it's too much for me. But it is an interesting new take of drag that I am not accustomed to. It's a different kind of drag. It is a great format for drag. And I recommend it because their looks are, well, spooky and gross and scary. They're really pretty amazing what they can pull off for themselves. So go watch that as well. That's all my commercials. Let's get into Drag Race UK. I'm going to be looking down a bit because that's where my notes are and it's where my looks are. So if you see me looking down, I won't be able to turn my head much because I'm wearing this crown on my head and it doesn't really fit. You can see it's a little big right here. I can stick my whole finger in it. So I don't want it to fall off my head. But I'm wearing a crown because we are in the UK. I'm also wearing my Queen shirt. Because we're celebrating Queen Elizabeth this episode. But let's get right into the episode. I was very excited for this. From the Meet the Queens. I hope you all watched the Meet the Queens. That eventually became unavailable to watch because it's not available in the United States on YouTube. But the Meet the Queens made me very excited. This is drag that I love. They are pretty much all campy queens, with the exception of a couple that are look queens. But the camp factor is over to the moon, and that is what I love about my drag. This is what people did not appreciate about Nina West on the US version last season. To me, she was the winner because I loved everything that she did. Whether it was polished or not is another question. But if you watch the UK one, not any of them are polished. They are just drag queens out there doing their thing. When I went to London like 3 years ago, we were in the little gay area around the theater district, and I asked some queens where I could go see some drag queens, and they said, oh, you won't like the drag queens here. It's very different from America. And they're like, it's kind of hard to find a really good drag queen that Americans like here. Had I known that this is what the queens were, had they told me exactly what it was, I would have been at seeing a drag show every night because I'd love these queens. This is my type of drag. This is what I love. I don't care about a pageant queen. I don't care about a look queen. I want entertainment, comedy, sing to me, do whatever you want. But yeah, that is the queen that I like. So I'm sad that I didn't get to see anyone when I was there. The next time I go to London, you will be sure to see me at a drag show. I may even take a little side trip to Manchester because that is apparently where the big drag queen scene is in London. My favorite queen, Cheddar Gorgeous, who is not on Drag Race UK, performs there, and she is a phenomenon to me. Look her up, Cheddar Gorgeous, Instagram. You'll be amazed at her looks. Anyway, our first queen into the workroom is Bag of Chips. And from her Meet the Queens video, I love this queen. She is so funny. I have no idea what she's saying, but everything that comes out of her mouth makes me laugh. I don't understand her. I need a translator. I have a friend who is British. I am hoping at some point, he doesn't watch Drag Race, but I'm hoping at some point to drag him on here just to interpret for me, because there's a lot of things I don't know. I don't know what things mean, but she is all personality. She is sassy. She is dirty, and I live for her. Yeah, one of my favorite queens. I just want to watch her on every episode. Next is Blue Hydrangea. She came in her hydrangea dress with the nude illusion. She's young. She's very twinkish. She kind of looks like Blair St. Clair out of drag. And this dress did not fit her. She says she's never worn boobs, and I think the dress needed boobs because it was really, really ill-fitting. It just wasn't fit to her body at all. And maybe that was her intention, but it just looked, like on camera, it looked weird, like not good. So I didn't love her entrance look. Davina D'acampo came in with a giant DDC necklace and said DDC on the BBC. She has the craziest laugh, and I live for her. She is camp to the extreme. Then she kind of did her Willem Bio extravaganza where they kept fast forwarding through it, which made me laugh. I love that. She sings opera. and knowing some opera queens here in New York City, I'm excited that maybe she's gonna sing some opera. A lot of these queens sing live, so I'm hoping we get like a Rusical challenge where they actually get to sing and we get to hear them. Remember Charlie Hides? She only sings live. Apparently it's a big thing in the UK. That's what they do. So hopefully we'll get that. But Davina D'acampo, I am a fan. She didn't really stand out this episode, but I'm still on her side. She has the craziest laugh, and I love it. People think it's annoying. I love it. Crystal, also known as Crystal Beth. They made her take her last name off for personal reasons, you know. She is the cutest boy of the season to me. She could be out of drag and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll just look at you. Maybe put on some lipstick and an eyelash. I don't care. She likes to do genderfuck drag, so I'm hoping we're gonna get some of that from her. This is the only queen that I've actually seen perform. She performed at Bushwig. Did I say that before? She did. She performed at Bushwig, and she did her metal grinding. So she wears like this metal cod piece. Not a cod piece, because it's not. It doesn't. It's a metal panty, let's say. Like a chastity belt almost. And she actually uses the grinder and it shoots sparks everywhere. It was pretty amazing. I do have it on video, so at some point you will see it as well. But go to her Instagram, you'll see all kinds of things she does. She does aerial work as well. I enjoyed her outfit when she came in. I realized it was just a bodysuit, but the way she manipulated that weird fabric on the top, I loved it. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Crystal. She calls herself punk and genderfuck, and I'm ready for it. Ready for it. Come on, Crystal. She's also Canadian. She's not really from the UK, but she has lived in London for 10 years now. So I guess that makes her a British queen. Next up is Something Wong. And I had kind of written her off from her Meet the Queens. Her Meet the Queens did nothing for me. I thought it was kind of dull and boring, and a little obnoxious. But she came in and I loved her outfit. I loved her talking heads. And I love that she kind of went after all the people that use the word microaggression too much and call her racist. And she said, "Mi so sorry," and I died laughing. I love off-colored humor, let's call it. So I appreciated that from her. She made me laugh. She made me love her more. And she is no longer written off in my book. She is one of the front runners as far as I'm concerned. And I'm excited that she's there. Cheryl Homelessness. People seem to love her, and I don't get it. She is kind of a copycat. That's what I'm going to say about her. She is a copycat of Alyssa Edwards. She wants to be Alyssa Edwards. She does the tongue pop. She has the hair. She's a dancer. It just drove me. And she thinks she's funny, and she's not to me. Maybe she is to everyone else, and that's why they love her. But I think people love her because she reminds them of Alyssa Edwards. But there is only one Alyssa Edwards, and Cheryl Hole is not it. Sorry. Yeah, she's not high on my list at all. But I think she'll be around because they need that character to be familiar to people. Gothy Kendall comes in, and I actually really liked her little jumpsuit, her little tracksuit. It was cute. Her little deflated anal bead hair was fun too. She looks great. She has terrible teeth, which we find out later she's very self-conscious about. But she called herself a chav, and I had to look it up because I don't know what that means. But it is an antisocial, lower-class youth who dresses in sportswear. The queens there loved it when she said that, and that's why I looked it up, because I was like, okay, there's something there. And I think she's exactly right. That is who she is. I think she described exactly what she is, and it made me happy. I did hear someone say that now they are looking for chav porn. I don't know if it's out there, but maybe we'll look for it together. Someone check it out. Let me know. Put it in the comments. Send me a link. I don't know. I'll watch it. I don't know if I want to watch Gothy Kendall in porn. She's a little too heroin chic skinny for me, but that's the way that is. But she's adorable. And that's it. That's all I have to say. We'll talk more about her later, obviously. Vinegar Strokes is next. She says she likes to combine glamour and humor, and she calls herself a dragtor, which is a drag queen who is an actor. For those of you who did not know and have not watched the episode, she was in a, I forgot the name of the show. Something about Jamie. All about Jamie. There's something about, maybe that's what it is. Something about Jamie. There's something about Jamie. On the West End with Michelle Visage. Yeah, they were dance partners in the show. I believe she was also in it when Bianca Del Rio was there. It's a little sketchy, you know, that there's all this nepotism happening, but she's there. I appreciate her. I had also kind of written her off from her Meet the Queens, but I do like her more now. She has all the personality and not much of substance. Her outfits are not the best, but I'm hoping that we'll see more from her. So we will check it out. Next is Scaredy-Cat. All she did when she came in was hiss like a cat. I don't get Scaredy-Cat. I don't get her drag. I am gonna try to understand it more, but I'm not sold yet. She's only 19. She's been doing drag for less than a year when this was filmed. She is not gay. It wasn't in the show, but in her Meet the Queen, she said you could call her bi. Apparently she said she would sleep with anyone. But she does have a girlfriend at the time who also does drag, and her name is Prissycat. And I think they're still together because she was at DragCon in New York City with her. That was her plus one. She's never performed. That's that. That about Kathy Kendall as well. Kathy Kendall, in her Meet the Queen, she said she's not a performer. She's a DJ and a look queen. And we find out that that is true on this episode. Last into the workroom is the Vivian. And bitch made an entrance in this look. It is so good. She was the best dressed, clearly, coming into the workroom. We find out that she's also the drag ambassador for Drag Race, the UK drag ambassador. And RuPaul crowned her 4 years ago as this title. I don't know what that means. Apparently it was a competition in a bar in the UK. Again, nepotism, but going into this, the Vivian was kind of my pick to win. I still think she's a major front runner, so she will be around for a while. Ru comes in and we get we get the Ru message first. I think it said Ru mail. I need to go back and watch that, or just watch next week a little more closely, but I think she said it's Ru mail. And she says, Her Majesty's already done had hers as. I love that they changed it for the UK. It's funny. We find out that our winner doesn't get money. I don't even know if they get a crown. I hope they get a crown at least. But the reason for this is that the BBC is publicly funded. It's kind of like PBS here in the United States. And so they can't give away money or prizes because they can't have sponsors. It is publicly funded. There's no money. How they make their money is selling it to other markets. And so that's why it's going to be on logo. So they're going to make some money from that. But the queens get no prizes. Instead, they're going to be whisked away to Hollywood to create their own web series. So another reason to have the World of Wonder app, because that's where you'll be able to see it. It'll be on the World of Wonder app. So get the Wow Presents Plus app now. Ding! What else did we learn? There's no cash prizes because there's no sponsors. And the Brit crew is there, and they do not look excited to be there. They are very cute. Only two. There's 5 of them. And you'll see some pictures later on that I will include of them. but they just did look like they did not want to be there. And I know they were supposed to be like of the royal guard, and they're not supposed to have expressions. So I'm hoping that's what it was, because there was zero personality in that workroom. But we'll see what happens in coming episodes. Our mini challenge is a photo shoot with your own severed head. It was fun. It was a fun little mini challenge. I'm not going to go through every queen. The person that I thought was the winner was Bag of Chips, but she did not win. It was Scaredy-Cat, who shit herself. She pooped out her own head. It was funny. I didn't think it was great. My favorite, also the Vivian was great as well. When Rue had her do all the characters, it made me laugh. I love that when she did Cardi B, she did the and said trademark, because Cardi B tried to trademark that, and failed. And then I also loved, but was entertained by Gothy Kendall doing the same line the same way 3 times, and Rue just dying because it never changed. I felt bad for her, because I was like, she doesn't know that Rue's making fun of her. She even thought she did amazing because Rue laughed at her. And I was like, oh, girl, she not laughing with you, she laughing at you. But you know, Gothy Kendall. That's all she got. I don't know what that is. That was the most exciting thing about her. So anyway, Scaredy-Cat wins the mini challenge. Great. I think they did this just to shock the girls and be like, this little 19-year-old girl who don't perform just beat you all. Step it up. And they do, because our challenge is going to be a runway challenge. And they're going to have to do 2 looks. One look is the queen of their hometown look, and the other is Queen Elizabeth realness, which I am living for, and would make no sense if they didn't do this. There's a lot of chit chat in the workroom. They're getting ready. They talk about their teeth. A bunch of them we call them flippers here. It's like a veneer that pops on and off. And then we learn that Gothy is very self-conscious about her teeth. And with good reason. They're not the best, but she's going to get some money and she's going to get them fixed. That is my prediction for her. The Queens of Hometown. I'm going to be jumping back and forth. Sorry, kids, because I need to get the photos. Queens of the Hometown. That is not it. Let's start with Miss Bag of Chips. Nope. Is that where we start? No, we start with Crystal. Crystal is first. She is from East London. She's wearing a pearl wig. And the wig is fantastic. The dress was fine. It was kind of a big blue gown. Nothing special. A lot of tulle. She looked great. Her face is gorgeous. The pearl hair was lovely. I don't know anything about the parts of London, so I'm going basically off what they did. And I liked it. I thought it was really, really good. Cheryl Hollis is next, representing Essex. Again, I don't know what it is, but she is like the party girl, Paris Hilton kind of thing, a little trashy. And she pulled it off. It worked really well. She did a lot of personal things with her spray tan on her dress, the toilet paper, kind of just a mess. A mess of a girl who thinks she's the super glamorous woman. So it really worked for her as well. Something Wong is from Birmingham, and apparently there's something about a bull ring. I don't know if it's an actual like bullfighting ring, or it used to be, but apparently that's the big known thing. She came out in this gorgeous drag gown with these giant horns. Her nose ring was a little big for me, but it worked. She was a bull, and I loved every moment of it. Way to go, Something Wong. Blue Hydrangea from Belfast came out in a gown with some cranes that she made. I don't know what. I mean, I heard her story. There apparently it's a big shipbuilding place, and that's where the Titanic was built, and her father and grandfather worked there, so she was representing that. It just looked weird that she stuck these giant field goal posts on a rack. It didn't look like it was party out. If she had done more of a costume with it rather than the gown, maybe it would have made more sense, but it just looked like they were slapped on, so I was not a big fan of that. Bag of Chips is from Camden Town, and she came out as Amy Winehouse, who is the big news of Camden Town, and it was perfect. She did it exactly right. I loved that Andrew Garfield said that people that are not Brits will find this offensive, but this is how they honor her, and I was all for it. It's drag. It's drag. She was Amy Winehouse. She did it perfectly. She had one shoe on. She fell down. She had the cigarette in her hair. So way to go, Bag of Chips. You make me laugh. The Vivian is from Liverpool, and she came out as Pete Burns. I didn't know Pete Burns was from Liverpool. Those of you who don't know who Pete Burns is, he was a trans performer, and I can't remember the name of the band, but sang You Spin Me Right Round. What is the name of that band? Oh, anyway, it's out of my head. But came out looking just like him in Vivienne Westwood, in flat shoes, which I don't know about the boots. I don't know. I don't study Pete Burns that well. But looked amazing, looked great. I totally bought the outfit. Great job, Vivienne. Vinegar Strokes is representing proper London. And she came out in the same dress that she walked into the workroom with a little tiny Thames River taped to it. It was awful. You found out later that was not the look she wanted to do. She actually had this gigantic look, which you will see in the video montage, where she was the subway map, the tube as they call it over there. But she couldn't do it because it's copyrighted, so they wouldn't let her wear it on stage, so she had to change it last minute, and that's why she wore the same look that she wore into the workroom with this little teeny tiny river tape to her. It was a fail, but I feel bad that she didn't get to wear what she wanted to look, because her other look was insanely amazing. I don't know how she would have gotten out on the runway in it, but it looked really, really great in the photo. Gothy Kendall is from Leicester, and she came out as a tiger, the color of some kind of Leicester cheese. I don't know Leicester cheese either. Michelle said she got it. I don't know if she really did. She's just pretending that she's, a British expertise. But that's her. That's what she does. And poor Gothy Kendall. She has zero personality. She has zero charisma. And she went, and all the judges made fun of her. And I felt bad for her again, because again, she's being made fun of. And didn't know about it, but it made me laugh that they made fun of her with their roar. Poor thing. She was not ready for the show. Hopefully this is a learning experience for her. Maybe she'll be back on season 2. Who knows? Rue did seem to really like her, so there's a good chance. Next up is Scaredy-Cat. She's from Wiltshire. She came out as, she called it a kitty earth something or other, kitty hippie, I don't know. She's like the Mother Earth goddess, hippie weirdo. The look was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't understand it, but I don't know. Again, I don't know what Wiltshire is. Maybe that's who they are. It made no sense to me. Davina D'acampo is last up, and she is from Brighouse. Again, doesn't mean anything to me. Apparently they have a big jazz, I don't know if it's a festival, but there's a documentary about it. And they have this big jazz scene, apparently. And that's where the tit trumpets came from, because there's chits, the trumpets there playing in the jazz. I loved her wig. She said it was Yorkshire pudding. I loved her dress. I thought the whole thing was super cute, super campy. I think if she didn't have the trumpets on, she would have gotten higher marks for it, but I really, really liked her look very, very much. Moving on to Queen Elizabeth Realness. Crystal came out in as what she called military dominatrix. It was the military look, and it was gorgeous. It fit her body so well. She looked stunning in this. It was like latex, everything. Oh, so good. I really, really liked it. Cheryl Hole came out as the pink lady in the garden. It was very boring. She didn't didn't carry a purse, which was a big flaw, and everyone pointed it out and everyone criticized her for it. The pink outfit was very basic. Something you could buy at any store. She talked about how she put pearls on the lapels. Great. No one could see them on camera because it was white on white. Yeah, it was not good. A bad look for Crystal. I'm sorry, not Crystal, for Cheryl. Something Wong walked out on that stage as a motherfucking Queen Elizabeth stamp. It was the most amazing thing to walk out on that stage. It was so good and so well done, and she was in character the whole time. She's like shuffled across the stage, and then she turns around on the back of the stamp and says, "Lick me." And people are complaining. They're like, ugh, it looks very cheap. It like she just wrote it on. No, it's in that weird punk typograph. That's what it is. You see the God Save the Queen from the punk things, and it's all upper lowercase letters like that. It's all like mismatched. So I totally get that. I understood that. Apparently a lot of people didn't, but Something Wong is my top two for Queen Elizabeth right now. So good. Blue Hydrangea came out as the pound coin and looked stunning. The dress was gorgeous. The coin was perfect. If she had not followed Something Wong, it would have also been up there for top two because it was pretty genius. And she looked amazing. Amazing. Bag of Chips is coming out as late 70s. Very typical, kind of like the Chanel suit. I thought she looked great. Michelle didn't like that she looked old. It didn't bother me. Queen Elizabeth has always looked old. She had her pursed lips, which was always great. You know, no smile, just scowling, basically. I thought she looked really, really good. So I liked it. The Vivian came out as the Balmoral Hunter. It was a stroke of genius on her part. She didn't have to wear heels again on the runway. But what she did with her makeup was unreal. She looked so good. She had ducks hanging from her. It was really, really special. Do I think she should have won the episode? No. But, oh, sorry, spoiler alert. But I loved both of her looks. They were great. But I felt someone else was a little better. Vinegar Strokes came out as 70s Summer Elegance. And this was something apparently that she would wear like on a trip to like Africa, visiting, you know, one of the principalities of the UK. And Vinegar decided to do it as a caftan. I love a caftan. I did not love this caftan. It was a great color, and I love the polka dots. It just was kind of ill-fitting. It didn't cover her shoes, which Michelle had a problem with. And caftans don't have to cover your shoes, but they need to be either all the way to the ground or like mid calf, or shorter, or super short. And you could take liberties with this because it was your interpretation of Queen Elizabeth. It wasn't dressing in a costume. It was your interpretation. So it could have been better. It was very wrinkly. Michelle called that out. So it just kind of looked licked off. Not great. Gothy Kendall is doing 50s. I think that was like the coronation kind of thing. Not what she actually wore, but when she was, you saw this all the time in The Crown. If you watch The Crown on season 1, it is the iconic look. I didn't think it was terrible. It looked cheap. But she doesn't have any money. She's 22. Maybe 21. I think she was 21. Yeah. It didn't look bad to me. The top was weird because it matched her skin too much. So it almost looked like she wasn't wearing a top, and she wasn't wearing boobs, obviously. She doesn't do that. So it just kind of looked messy, but not terrible. I actually really loved the skirt. I loved that it was short like that and she could play with it. So I didn't hate it. Oh, excuse me. Scaredy-Cat is next, and she came dressed as a baby. To me, this made 0 sense. She says she's the baby queen. She came out as a baby because the queen was a baby at one point, and she's the baby queen of the season. And she threw her shoe at the judges. I didn't get it at all. It made no sense to me. I am still not on Scaredy-Cat's team. I don't understand her at all. I don't get her drag yet. I'm hoping I do get it. I don't like the pink foundation. I'm not a fan. I was hoping she was going to be the first to go. When she won the mini challenge, I knew she wasn't going to be, so we have another week of her. Last is Davina D'acampo, and she's doing the Star of the Garter. I don't know what that means, but she looked great. I thought this was a great look she put together, and then when she did the reveal of the sexy bodysuit underneath it, to show that she was still wearing a garter as the queen, I thought it was wonderful. I thought she looked great. I thought she put a lot of thought into it. I thought it made sense, and she looked gorgeous and sexy. Great job, Davina D'acampo. We find out that Crystal, Blue, Scaredy-Cat, well, let's do their names. Crystal, Blue, Hydrangea, Scaredy-Cat, and Davina D'acampo are all safe, and they get sent back and have their own little untucked backstage that we didn't get to see much of. Davina was not happy about being safe, and then when the other queens come back, Cheryl is pissed that she is in the bottom. Vinegar thinks she sold her personality, but not her looks, and then she had like a little breakdown, and all the other queens comforted her. It kind of felt like everyone is super supportive of each other, and except that they all hate Cheryl Hole. That is kind of what it felt like to me. And I don't know if it's because she's obnoxious, if she thinks she's better than everyone. She certainly didn't think she should have been at the bottom, even though she knows that she is. Yeah, it felt weird that they kind of turned on her. So we find out that the Vivian is the winner of this challenge. I just told you that. I didn't mean for it to come out like that, but it did. I'm happy that she won because I am a big fan of the Vivian, but again, I don't think she should have won. I think Something Wong really kind of stole this episode. Both of her looks were fantastic. The Vivian's looks her first look was better than her queen look, but I loved them both. But she wins, and she gets a Ru badge. Hooray! There's something, I think it's called a Peter badge, that it was a children's show in the UK, and everyone wanted to get a Peter badge. I think you could only get them if you were on the show. I have no idea. I didn't look it up. Maybe I will for next week, but yeah, this is kind of the equivalent of that. The queens laughed about it because it's obviously ridiculous, but means something to them. It means nothing to me. But that's what she gets. No trip, no money, no prize, just a Ru badge. Baga, Chips, Something Wong, and Cheryl Hole are all safe, and that leaves us with Vinegar Strokes and Gotti Kendall in the bottom, and they are going to lip sync to Dua Lipa's New Rules. This is not a great lip sync song. It's a great dance song, but they are dressed as Queen Elizabeth and cannot dance in their dresses for this number, sadly. It's a great song. I enjoy the song very much, but it's not a good lip sync song for what they were wearing. Gothy is so awkward on stage. It shows that she's not a performer. She's kind of walking around, moving her hands, and that's it. That's all you get from her. There's zero personality, and it's just kind of terrible. Vinegar is a true professional and is turning out this number. She did everything that she possibly could to keep herself there, and it worked. Then Gothy's dress fell down, like completely down. You saw her nipples through almost half of the number. I did appreciate that we got the whole lip sync song, which made me happy. It was like, that is unheard of. I wish they would still do side to side so you can see both lip syncs, but it is camera work that you're just cutting back and forth. But we did get the whole songs. Vinegar's turban reveal with the glitter underneath it and then taking a wig off and having a wig reveal, stellar. My only thing with that is that there should have been one more because it was counting. You know, she does that one, da-da-da-da. I don't know the song. I don't know the words of the song. But she's doing her rules and there's 4 of them. So you do 1, you take the turban off. 2, you take the wig off. 3, you take the wig off. And 4, you're there. So that's it. And she could have been bald at the end for all I care. But yeah, I thought there should have just been more to it to keep up with the song. But both of them worked. The turban reveal and the wig reveal looked fantastic on stage. Vinegar Strokes is our clear winner. There's no question about it. And she gets to stay. Gothy Kendall is our first queen ever eliminated in the UK. And she even wrote on the mirror that she is the UK's pork chop. God bless you, pork chop. You are an icon. And now Gothy Kendall, maybe you will be an icon as well. But that also means you can't come back if you're going to really be the pork chop of the season. She did go off the stage doing Miss Kendall, like Vanjie. So she's clearly a fan of Drag Race. And it felt like her, Blue Hydrangea mentioned it as well, that she is kind of a Ru kid because she grew up on RuPaul, on Drag Race. And so Blue Hydrangea, Gothy Kendall, that might be it. Oh, and what's her name? Cheryl Hole, are trying to bring as much of the American Drag Race into this as they can to get a foothold, and I don't know that that's going to work for them. I'm not going to say that it's not, but you never know. It might work, it might not. So that's that. We say goodbye to her. Like I said, she might be back next season because Ru did seem to really like her. Or she at least was entertained by her. And a year can make a difference. Look at Miss Vanjie. She was the first to go, and then she came back and kind of slayed the competition. She won me over. I did not like her first season. I loved her second season. That's all I have today, kids. We'll be back next week. We are doing, I don't know if I guess it's a little teleplay kind of thing of Downton Draggy. So I think that'll be really fun. We'll get to see who can actually act, who can pull it off. I'm gonna predict that Scaredy-Cat is not gonna do well. But that's just because I don't really like her. So I don't know that she's gonna do well. I don't know that Blue is gonna do really well at an acting challenge. But you never know. People will surprise you. Look at Aquaria. I didn't think she had any talent in her. And she won me over as well. So we will see. I never said I was going to put the looks in. I never stopped to put the looks in. So I'm just going to do it here at the end. Enjoy the looks. There are a lot of them. And we'll see you next time. Bye.